All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We got an assist on this week's Sam's Army Spotlight from our resident playmaker, Tommy McGunner, who's going to join me in chatting up his former teammate and former roommate, who also happens to be the reigning USL Championship Golden Boot winner. We got Orange County's Milan Iloski. So thanks, as always, to you, Tommy, for hopping on, and an extra special thanks to Milan. How you doing today, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad you're hopping on because we got some breaking news that I think everybody will have heard about at this point. The cat's out of the bag. And congrats on the deal. You're moving to Denmark at the end of the year or maybe January. Your new club is going to be Nordsjaelland or something. How is that pronunciation?
Yeah, FC Nordsjaelland. You're pretty close.
Okay, for me, that's like an A plus. Tommy will back me up on that. Doesn't get closer to that. So, fun fact: I actually know, even though I can't really say the name, I know a little bit about the club. I followed them kind of closely because they're one of my favorites as an avid over better. They're a team that scores a lot of goals, so I've actually followed them quite a bit recently, and so it seems like the perfect marriage. You know, you heading over there as an average goal scorer yourself seems like a good destination. So congrats on the deal and on the move, which will happen soon. But we'll get into that first we got to talk a little bit about well, it's going to be an icebreaker activity, really. So you two, as I said, are former teammates, so let's take a step back and go back into your roommate days. We'll sort of get we'll warm things up here. I'm going to ask them some random questions to each of you, and then I'll give the other person a chance to respond and or return fire, if you will. So Milan, let's start with you. I'll get an easy one. Who's messier, you or Tommy?
Me.
No return fire there. That's right.
Accurate. Okay. Tommy, who's the better cook?
Definitely not Milan. That was the one question I had for today. Was the last meal you cooked? Um,
I haven't cooked in. I haven't cooked since we had a cooking competition that I won. By the way, so
yeah,
that plays into
he
the
did
who's the
win the
better cook.
cooking competition. So, but
I
I
haven't
was
cooked since
I was
then.
the judge.
I
It's
mean,
been about 9 months, I think.
that sort of undercuts the whole premise of being a bad cook if you won a cooking competition. Who was actually involved?
It was me and my other roommate, my brother Brian. So
Oh, okay. This
he tried
wasn't
making some healthy dish, and I wasn't having that. So I made something that tasted good and took the win.
okay. All right, fair enough. Milan, this one's for you. So you guys both have girlfriends at the moment, I believe. So this is not like a skill set you're putting to use very often, but if need be, who is more awkward talking to girls?
I don't know. I mean, like you said, we weren't really out going and talking to girls. Usually, we would just be at the house talking with our girlfriends. But I don't know. I'd say I'm just gonna say Tommy. I've always been pretty good at talking to girls.
I would go opposite just because your voice is carries so much farther than mine. So me trying to get in a
That's
word
true.
compared to you, I think you'd do fine in this hypothetical.
That's true.
All right, okay. Tommy, who can do more pull-ups?
Wow, that's a good one.
I'm so light. That's the thing.
Yeah, you're light, so it might be you, but I don't know the last time that you did a full gym session.
Hey, I've been in the gym since I've heard about this deal and I started talking to them. So
I'll I'll give I'll give Milan that one.
you'd be stunned out actually.
I'll give him
Every day
pull-ups.
every day I'm getting crap in the weight room, but
All right. This is a recent, apparently a recent thing going in the gym. But listen, that's probably more than Tommy. How often do you go to the gym?
I do biceps, pull-ups, push-ups every single day.
Damn,
No,
okay.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Definitely not.
All right. Milan, who? Okay, so back in the day, not right now, but back in the day, who would be more likely to get in trouble at school?
me
Yeah.
Agreement. That was easy.
for sure.
Okay. All right, we'll get back into this. That's the icebreaker. So now we'll move on to more weighty things. We might get back into this a little bit in the rapid fire at the end. But Milan, so people, they've kind of gleaned quite a bit about Tommy over the years, and they know a little, some little nuggets about me, kind of keep it that way because I'm really not that interesting. But you got an interesting career and you're just sort of getting started here. So let's put the microscope on you a little bit. You're a SoCal kid. You decided to go to college and you played at UCLA. Did you ever consider going a different route, or were you always sort of focused on, I'm going to go play at college?
Yeah, I when I was younger, I wanted to go to Europe at a young age, but I couldn't. I have a Macedonian passport, but that doesn't qualify as part of the EU, so I could never go play in Europe. And at the time when I was still going to college, the minimum in MLS wasn't very high, so uh, it wasn't appealing for me to sign up, like one of those 1+3 contracts on the minimum every year. So I decided to go to college, especially when my two brothers decided that they were going to end up going there. It was a pretty easy decision in the end.
Okay. And after college, this is still pre Tommy, before Tommy came onto the scene here. You signed a homegrown contract, I believe, with RSL. Out of college, played with RSL and the Monarchs for a couple seasons. What stands out most about your experience in Utah?
Yeah, it wasn't easy for me. I wasn't playing with the first team regularly, and you know, going like to play random games with the Monarchs is always tough because there's no rhythm, you're never fit, and that kind of stuff. But so it was in the time a frustrating experience, I would say. But I look at it now like I learned a lot from it, and it probably made me a lot mentally tougher, and made me work on stuff that I never had to work on before. So in the end, there's no hard feelings there, and I moved on, and I'm excited for this next step now.
Sounds good. So your next step was signing with Orange County, and that was in 2022. How much did getting to play and even live with Tommy McCabe play into that decision?
Well, Tommy and my brother Brian were roommates the year before, so I just asked Brian a little bit about it before I came because I figured I'd live with Brian, and I didn't know who his roommates really were. So when I came in, we got along pretty well from the start. So there was never any problems with us, and except for I'm a United fan and he's an Arsenal fan, so we had some bets when those games were happening. But other than that, everything else was pretty smooth.
All right, fair. What was the cliff notes that your brother gave you on Tommy as a roommate?
Nothing. He said, he's clean, he's quiet. He always Tommy's always reading and stuff, and he didn't want to like play FIFA or that, so that was kind of late. But he's always doing something educational and trying to learn, which was a bit annoying, but it's all right.
Exercising that big brain. Yeah, we know all about that around here. All right. So Tommy, what was your first impression when Milan showed up?
Loud.
Just loud.
He made him, which was actually really nice. Like I didn't grow up with any brothers, so to like see those two interact in the same room, he made himself at home pretty fast, which I think made it a lot easier for him on and off the field.
Okay, fair enough. So this is a question for both of you. Tommy, I guess you go first. What is the most, you guys have both played at Orange County. Milan's still there right now. Tommy, you've played there for his 2 seasons, I think, and
Yeah,
then gone to Detroit and Tulsa at this point. What's the most unique thing about playing for Orange County?
Well, I'm not going to take possibly Milan's answer. I think the location is pretty unique.
Fair enough.
Someone who's like not from the West Coast, and that was like my first real experience living out there. I think that's definitely a competitive advantage for them.
Sure, and the weather. Okay, fair enough. Milan, what do you think?
For me personally, it was coming back home was the most appealing part, I would say, and playing with Brian was we did it in college, but that's only for 3 months or something like that. So to do it for a full year was pretty fun and pretty unique, I would say, for me to do.
Okay, now let's talk about the Nordsjaelland deal. So how long has this been in the works?
I would say like middle to end of the summer transfer window, and that was kind of the discussion was if it was going to be a summer transfer or a winter one. But in the end, it was decided that it was best for me to keep playing games and play regularly, and then go over there, when after their winter break to start that second half of the season.
And so was this like, have you been talking with your agent and sort of like, this is the year I'm going to move? And sort of you just knew it, you just didn't know where, or, how did it sort of, in a longer term sense, how did this come about?
Yeah, after my first year when I did pretty well, there was a lot of talks and stuff going on, and I didn't know if I was going to come back or not for the second season. And then as things kind of developed more and more, once I found out about Nordsjaelland and everything, and my contract at Orange County was kind of coming to an end, so I knew that something was going to be done. And then once they came in, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. And I decided that's where I wanted to go. And after speaking to Orange County, it was pretty easy and it went really well. So it was pretty smooth.
Now, fair enough. So Tommy, did you guys ever, I'm sort of imagining you guys as like stepbrothers in the same bedroom, like staring at the ceiling, like having late night conversations. Did you ever talk about, moving to Europe or playing in Europe, that sort of thing?
I think he last year when we were roommates together, he definitely brought it up. Instead of step brother, I think I tried to offer some brotherly or fatherly advice. That's for sure. But yeah, I think he can talk about it too. But I think having people around him, especially at the club, there's a big Danish influence that I think that probably helped him make his decision and get some actual advice. So I think for me, Milan, like how much did those people, and I think you're a person who likes to do the research, likes to be in a good spot that you think you'll succeed in. How much did that play a role in your decision process?
Yeah, it was a big deal and a big influence. And we had, Danny Pedersen, and we had another guy named Emil on the team this year. And, the new interim coach, Morten, played and coached for the club I'm going to for quite a while. So, those are the people I first talked to when the approach was made. And then I did my own research. And yeah, but the influence from the Danish players we had here was big. And the way they spoke about Nordsjaelland was like, it was this unbelievable environment to be in. And it's a place that's like an academy, and like you learn so much, and it's like a university basically. And they have a style of play and a way that they do things that, I thought fit really well with me. So, but definitely the people at the club had a big influence on it.
Okay. Were there other clubs kicking around, kicking tires or sort of in the mix, sniffing around that you heard of?
Yeah. There was other countries, other places that there was, clubs coming in. But, once I heard about Nordsjaelland, I researched every club that would look into me, and I would talk to my agent and talk to people around that I knew that were from those places, or, knew people at the clubs. And, once I heard about Nordsjaelland and I looked into it, it was, I told all the other clubs that I wasn't really interested, and started negotiating my contract there.
Did it ever sort of cross your mind that you'd like to stay around here and play in MLS?
Yeah, for a little bit. I talked to some people, and I just didn't see MLS valuing me in the same way that I could if I went and played in Europe. And kind of see that with a lot of players, I think. And it's tough to be like an attacking, American player, and, come through college, come through, go to MLS, go to USL, now back to MLS. It was always going to be tough to, perceptions kind of is a big deal in this sport. And I think, going straight back in MLS, I would have had to be in a pretty fortunate situation to play right away. And, I know I would be upset if I went back to MLS and was back on the bench again. So, for me, I think Nordsjaelland's an opportunity to learn and grow and be in a whole new environment. And it's a new challenge that I haven't seen. And so I think that was, ultimately what pushed me away from MLS and to go to Europe and, try this new adventure.
Okay, sounds good. I'm always interested in these types of situations, what the dynamic is like between player and selling club. So, what's, I don't know how much conversations you've actually had, or maybe it was through your agent, but like, what kind of communication was there between you, your camp, your team, and the club, and what sort of did you hear from them?
Yeah, they were pretty good during the whole process. And, I try and leave all that stuff up to my agent and deal with. And, of course I have a say in it, and, and ultimately it's my decision in the end, but, I try and leave most of it to my agent to deal with.
Okay. So as you mentioned, you're sticking around for the rest of the season here. with Orange County. So, no doubt you're sort of hoping to follow in the footsteps of Tommy over here and bring a title back to Orange County for USL-C. So you're third in the West right now. So it seems like you have a pretty decent shot at it this year. So assuming, FC Tulsa doesn't get too hot and beat you in the championship, here's the question for both of you. Milan, you go first. If hypothetically Orange County does win the title again this year, which team would party harder, the 2021 Orange County or the 2023 Orange County? And I need some names. I need some rationale. I need an explanation here.
I would say the 2023 team. We went to Vegas recently and we bust there. So we weren't able to spend the night or weren't able to do anything. So I was able to negotiate with our front office that if we win the championship, we go to Vegas as a group. So, I think that gives us a big edge.
It does. That's well done. Well done. Yeah, I don't know if you need an agent. It sort of seems like you got that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Tommy, agree or disagree? He basically just called you nerds.
I disagree because I actually have an experience of partying. It's not a hypothetical. So
okay. He's just pointing to the ring.
Yeah, somewhere over here in the closet. We had, it's funny, a Danish teammate who that was his last game of his professional career, and he just kind of like funded the party. So maybe Milan can do the same when he leaves the club. Just fund the whole party.
Yeah, right. Pay for that.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We will now head to rapid fire, and this is going to kind of sort of be an extension of the the ex-roommate discussion we had from before, but maybe we'll go in a few new directions. So Milan, you mentioned that first of all, by the way, the fact that you've done some research, we're going to get into that soon. But first before that, it seems like American, defenders and goalkeepers and maybe to a certain extent strikers, but, there's more respect given from European clubs, it seems, especially for goalkeepers and defenders than there are for strikers and especially midfielders, I've noticed. Any sort of thoughts? Do you agree with that? Is there some sort of reason for that?
Yeah, I think that, a lot of time attacking players have to be really creative, and the American philosophy and the American system is kind of more athletic based and more and pushes for that sort of profile of a player. And I think as a defender, being extremely athletic is a big advantage. So I think a lot of Americans have success in Europe because they have such an athletic build, and it's not really as the creativity in that part of the game is not really as, influenced, where I think an attacking player, you have to kind of do a lot of things off the cuff and be creative. And, that's not really something that coaches push for at a young age here. I think if you have it, you have it. And if you don't, then you don't. And that's why I also think you see a lot of, the main players in MLS usually aren't Americans. I think, maybe Jesus Ferreira is kind of the only one that has that role. And, a lot of the others are, brought from Europe or South America. So I don't think it's really, in these MLS teams' idea to groom these young players into being those creative guys. They're, more focused on buying someone and, marketing them rather than doing it from within. Whereas defenders and, goalkeepers, I think it's easier to come up if you have that athletic build, and you can kind of get away with it a bit better.
Sure. We got a lot of big dumb jocks around here. So they make good good defenders and keepers. Tommy, I'm sure this is something you've thought about. You got a big old brain and you do a lot of thinking. So what's your thought? I mean, like, as a midfielder, is it something that you've struggled with, been frustrated with?
Yeah, I think every player that's grown up that has like aspirations to play at the highest level who's American struggles with this in some way, whether they go to college. And I think Milan's got a unique perspective as he's had the college, had MLS, had USL, and also had Europe. And that's like that whole debate of like which path to take. He's been on each of those paths, so he can probably speak to it a little bit better. But yeah, I think it is a perception that's stuck with people for a long, long time. And that takes a while to change. It takes more than a couple players to change.
Okay. Tommy, this next one's for you. What is the maddest you've ever gotten at Milan, and why?
Ooh, I don't, I don't know. Uh, got to be something with the kitchen. I'm pretty sure. Uh, oh no. I think I was doing an interview or something, or like for my master's, and I could hear him from upstairs playing video games. And so I didn't necessarily get mad at him, but I was mad
I know mine so quick.
For sure. So
did you ever even tell him about this, or is this the first time you actually expressed
no,
this?
this has got to be the first time. I was definitely way more passive aggressive about his video game playing.
Fair enough. Well, Milan, it sounds like yours comes right to mind.
So quick. So I was I forget if it was my anniversary or my girlfriend's birthday, but I bought her like some nice jewelry and stuff to give it to her. And Tommy and Brian thought it'd be a good idea to go into my car or go to my room, steal the box, take the jewelry out, and then put the box in the same spot. So I remember I was at dinner with my girlfriend. And I gave her a present, and she opens this box, and it was missing. And I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And they didn't even tell me. They didn't tell her. No one said anything. And I thought I got it stolen. Like I thought someone went into my pocket or stole it from my car or something. And then they called me and told me about it. And I was so pissed because it ruined the whole night. Because all night I was trying to figure out where it got stolen from, and they didn't even leave it in the car. They kept it at the apartment. So now I have no gift for my girlfriend's birthday or anniversary or something. I got in trouble, but it wasn't my fault.
That's a pretty good prank, I'll be honest.
We had one later in the year that was good too. That was the first one, and I missed mine too. I'll explain mine after I explain the other two pranks. We like replaced it with a friendship like lace or knit bracelet, whatever. Yeah. And they were up in LA for dinner, and me and Brian are just like sitting on the couch, like laughing. We couldn't keep it together. And then the other one was for his birthday. We bought like 300 balloons and filled them up in his bathroom, and then just hid in the shower. And so he came into the bathroom. He was like, "What the fuck's going on?" kind of thing. And we were hiding in the shower. But I will say, he got me at the end. So throughout that whole process, they had bought like a smelling fart.
It's called liquid ass.
Liquid ass. There we go.
Perfect.
And so they kept spraying it above my air vent or in the sink. And so throughout the whole year, I kept calling maintenance to like fix our sink and fix my vent. And after like 3 or 4 times, and like literally like the last day we were living together, they told me that it was liquid ass the whole time. So that was, I couldn't get mad at that. That was just too good. I was
spraying this guy all year.
It was for like 6 months. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
It was like a 6-month methodical prank, and I was acting like I never got him back for the bracelet or for anything. And I was just peppering his room every single time I could without him noticing.
So it really was payback. I mean, you were that mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in it for the long haul.
Fair enough. All right, Milan, give Tommy's facial hair a letter grade.
He doesn't have any.
Look, Tommy, get close to the camera.
Let me get real close. I got a little bit of a mustache right now.
Terrible.
It's one of the funny. This is the thing I love most about Tommy is that he keeps growing it.
Terrible.
It's amazing.
I will say I have to shave it this weekend, so it's gone. It'll be gone.
You should keep it. I really like. I give it an A+ personally. All right, Milan, you mentioned you've done some research, so I'm going to give you a pop quiz on Denmark here. So this actually is perfect. We'll see how much research you've done, and obviously, Tommy, we all know you're Mr. Worldwide, and you'll have the answers. So let Milan twist a little bit, and then you can jump in.
UCLA education's coming in right now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Geography major.
You're not the first UCLA guy. So Kellen Rowe was on. I think there might have been some others, but okay. So describe the Danish flag.
It's red, white, striped. How's it go? It goes like that through it. I know it's red and white, and there's the white are the stripes coming through, and the red's the background of it.
Okay, that's actually pretty good. We'll give you that one. It's like, you know, a kind of a cross.
Yeah.
Kind of like the opposite of Switzerland, even though Switzerland's, you know, just a little you know, design or whatever. Okay, that was pretty good. Higher population, Denmark or the San Francisco Bay Area?
I'm gonna go Bay Area.
You're right. Bay Area 7.7 million, Denmark 5.8 million. All right, you're doing pretty well here. How do you say please in Danish?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to learn Danish too, because you know I think it's like respectful, but also I think it's interesting, and I want to be able to talk to like fans and other people when I get over there. And so I'm trying to learn, but it's a tough language to get, to be honest. So I've been just listening to YouTube and trying to get it, but then I get put on the spot and I forget when I probably would tell someone I know how to say it.
I mean, that's fair. I forget English when I get put on the spot. So the fact you can't do Danish isn't so bad. Tommy, you got an answer for us here, Mr. Worldwide?
No.
Well, that's funny. This is a trick question. They don't have a word for please. There is no please in the Danish language. So it's a trick question. So you're not actually, you're still going 100% here. Here's a softball for you. I know you know this one. What's the capital of Denmark?
Copenhagen.
Yeah. There we go. This one's a tougher one. So Nordsjaelland has won the Danish title one time. What year was it?
2013.
Close. 2012.
2012. Yeah.
11-12. So final question. This one's for you, Milan. Of all the teammates, and this is not Denmark related, by the way. So of all your teammates, this can include roommates. From a fashion perspective, who's been the trendiest?
Tommy.
Okay. I was wondering if it was all facade or if it was actually true. Okay.
That's a layup.
Fair enough. Well done. All right. We'll keep it nice and short. Tommy, thank you as always for hopping on and lending us your big ass brain, as you're wont to do every now and again. Milan, best of luck the rest of the way here with Orange County, and hopefully you guys, if hypothetically you beat FC Tulsa in the final, be sure to give follow in Tommy's footsteps. Give us a little shout out for the Sam fam with the trophy.
You got it.
And obviously best of luck in Denmark, and
not gonna play those games.
We'll be rooting for you.
People see me doing the interview. I'm getting a lot of crap right now.
That's all right. We'll cut it off now, so they don't get you any worse. But no, thank you very much for hopping on, and congrats on the deal. Obviously, that's really cool, and we'll be rooting for you over in Denmark. So congrats and best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Congrats, Milan. See ya.
Thanks, Scott. Later.